All right, and we're live.
Yeah, perfect timing.
A little spoilers there about what we're talking about today.
You always talk about stuff that's not the best, Jerry. Come on, that's not a
that's
spoiler. Speaking of not the best, I have screwed up my coffee.
Oh no, it's not the best coffee. Is there any more hot?
There is. But people outside Japan aren't going to know what creep is. C-R-E-A-P, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes, a powdered cream that does not melt in cold coffee.
Oh, no, I don't think it melts at all. Creep. Because it's the portmanteau of creamy powder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan loves that, making weird sounds out of stuff. So how's it going? Getting ready for some Frostgrave?
Actually, yeah. I built some two new models the other night.
Cool.
And then I originally built them because I'm like, okay, I've been getting into, we're looking at this very small indie skirmish microgame called Great Helm by Mal of the Shinobi, who started out as like a one-box war game, which is like, here's a sprue of knights, you get 6 of them, I'm going to make a game based on this.
Cool.
And anyway, I think it's gearing up for like a Kickstarter kind of thing, and I'm like, as a fan of micro stuff, this plays on like an A4 sheet of paper.
Oh,
like that is the size of the battlefield.
That's
or if
cool.
you want to go like a 12 by 12 inch square, which I think what I might do. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And it's just 6 knights. What you see is what you get. And it's I think the dice mechanic is pretty neat because you have a pool of dice that you roll, and then each value of die gives you access to a specific type of action. So it's not I move anything I want. It's like I got this many 6s, this many 5s, this many 4s. What can I do with those?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Those actions, and you can like degrade a die, but it's very tactical. So I'm getting into that, and that's why I built like a couple of Frostgrave thugs, and I'm like, I can use these as knights, and I looked at them and I'm like, I'm unhappy with these as knights.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, they're built. They're for Frostgrave. I'll paint them up for Frostgrave.
Cool.
But I may or may not have bought a box of knights.
Oh.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
You broke your
I did.
6
I broke my 6mm. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, now everything's open.
It's done. The floodgates are open because
there we go.
Because Vitrix Miniatures just said, "Hey, pre-orders for our Crusader Knights just open." I'm like,
oh, yeah.
That'd be a bunch more. That'd be slightly different. Should I buy those too? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
But I might. Anyway, so how are you?
All right. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to do. I think my gang is going to go as is. no new additions or anything. Yeah. But and Sunday we'll be doing some Infinity. But I think there's a player or two coming that don't have armies.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we might be playing Tag Raid, which is kind of a board gamified version where it's just hexes.
Okay,
and
cool.
basically you're like you're these corporations, but you're mining these like mining groups that are fighting over this like resource on this planet. So it's pretty cool. And like of course then like creatures, giant worms and things spawn. Okay. So it's like either hamper my enemy collecting stuff or fight this monster. So so we might be doing that as well.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Apart from your Warhound in Frostgrave,
yes,
you haven't had anybody die. Like die.
Right. Yeah. Well, the goat died the first. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Warhound. Yeah. He is my Warhound.
We're up to Blackfield the third, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, that's true. I haven't had, I had an apprentice in the second game. Didn't I have an apprentice? My caster did not die, but was I had to roll. I did
roll. Like we've had people or models who have had to make the death rolls,
but not.
As far as I know, I don't think you've had anyone like roll like a 1 to 4 and like die.
Right.
I had my first casualty that third game there, so I got to replace somebody. Yeah. That's why I'm like, okay, maybe I'll make some new.
I think I've had grunts because I'm running like 3 or 4 grunts. What's that what they're called?
Thugs.
Thugs. That's right. Yeah.
Thugs are thieves, the free ones.
Yeah. I'm running some thugs. So
I am as well.
Yeah, I think I've had them go down, but they cost zeros.
Yeah, like I haven't had any of them die. I've had them like be wounded in mixed nest game, and then you're like, all right, get out of here.
Yeah, right. Go tell it to the right.
But no, I'm looking forward to next Sunday as well.
Yeah, and this next scenario looks fun. It's got the statues in a garden, so there's no height. Everything is kind of flat, kind of more maze-like.
I'll have to read the scenario to see if we need possibly make some like hedges and stuff for the garden.
Oh yeah, I've got the plants that we used before. They're a little big.
They're quite thick.
Yeah, right. So they scale wise for 28, they're a little intense, but maybe they make like good borders or something.
Good Catachan Death World terrain.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Wrong
that's
game,
it.
but yeah, anyway.
Right. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Looks like they're talking about the Dune MMO in the chat. Yeah, that seems to be. It seems like that they did a good job with it. Like they Arturo was saying there's deep lore cuts in there, and you basically your base building and your.
If I wanted deep lore cuts, I'd read the fucking book.
And if you kill somebody, you can take their body back to your still and drain their juice.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it's very Dune-like. So we'll see. I just don't know if the if there's enough sunscreen for those pale
Harkonnens.
Yeah. But it does look good, and they're starting to. I just saw a promotion. Somebody doing some controllers or keyboards or whatever is you get that free if you buy their stuff. So they're starting to promote it, like it's starting to get out there. MMOs are tough because they're a real time investment. They're a real time sink, and you want to be. It's hard from Japan because you want to be online when other people because soloing those kind of survival MMOs sucks. You usually end up ganged up on pretty intensely.
Time zone, free time.
Yeah, right.
Do things I don't have. All right.
Yes, exactly. Yes, accidental bumper, Matt. All right, yeah. So looks like everything is good. And I did I uploaded a little 10-minute lore video to kind of prepare for the Dragonbane that we're doing this weekend. So this is just from the core set. This is just the kind of 11 adventures that make a campaign in that core box set that Free League released. And it's all connected. It's all really, really narrative. It's the so the books that they've done for other games and stuff. It's just like a bunch of different adventure sites, and even maybe the One Ring. It's just like adventure sites. But this all has you've got a kind of an overarching thing you're doing, and even though you can play them in any order, means you can explore anywhere. There's one that is like the climax, the finale. Okay. So yeah, it's really good, and so. And everybody kind of knows what's happened, and so I did a lore video to just kind of like catch everybody up.
That's cool.
But it's vague enough that there are details that kind of get revealed. So it's like, oh, I thought these were like completely good guys, but they're actually not.
Spoilers.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of interesting details that come out from the rumors and interacting, and there's also different. Like kind of 3 different clans kind of battling. The orcs got chased away, but they're still kind of coming back. There's the kind of the humans that have the humans and the elderkin, they call them, that have kind of reestablished. And then there's the the demonic cultists. Okay. So that's cool. There's some, and you can identify them, like they have markings and things, and you're like deciding who to ally yourself with, who to double cross. There's there's some good stuff. There's like a really interesting. Ways to play through it, and not just kill your way to the treasure every single site. You can really and they do that. They set some of these adventure sites up where you've got a really huge obstacle that you have to negotiate with, or stealth kill, or get somebody else to go kill it. And so it's really interesting. They did a really nice job for those connected, and I don't think I've heard enough about it. Like I just kind of we did a couple of one shots. And especially the quick start, and the quick start is actually one of the locations in this campaign. But I didn't hear people really talking about it, and people are playing like their original stuff. But this is really good.
Well, tangent but related. I've stopped trying to judge what is popular or not because we live in such a tiny little bubble over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's human nature to go, I haven't heard anything about this. It must not exist anymore. It must be not popular. And like, no, I just wasn't in the correct place to know how popular this thing is. Right?
Yeah, but look at I read some OSR stuff and everything, and it's all Shadow Dark, and it's all there's like things
not
that just
Daggerheart?
kind of dominate. What's that?
Not Daggerheart?
Well, yeah, it's Daggerheart string. Actually, Daggerheart just replaced all of our most popular videos, like in the top 10. It's all Daggerheart, Daggerheart,
So
Daggerheart.
what I'm hearing is you need to make some more Daggerheart videos.
No,
right?
that's definitely not what we're going to do. See, that's why we don't chase the algorithm, so we have a very unpopular channel. But yeah, I mean that's what we need to do. Like that's what you obviously would do. Any YouTuber with any sense that wanted to take advantage of the ad revenue would do that. But that's torture. Like that would be torture to have to
Tell
play.
us how you really feel.
To have to play Daggerheart, yeah. But we still, I think we'll do one more, the kind of post-mortem. We'll do one more Daggerheart. And I've seen people requesting, like, is there anybody that is not a total critter shill or is not or is not
right here, right?
or is not anything that Darrington Press does is garbage? Is there some opinion in between there? Because it's like the opinions seem like two extremes. It's like, oh, this is the best game ever. This is my new 5e, or this is garbage. I wouldn't touch this. So
Well,
there's no in between.
Not to prolong the intro anymore, but
Yeah.
is there anyone who knows about Critical Role and Darrington Press and that whole group that doesn't have a, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, or oh my god, this one sucks? Like, is there anyone?
You're right.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
There probably is. I just haven't encountered them, right? That bubble again.
Yeah, that's true. If you know a Critical Role, you have an opinion. It seems,
Yeah, if you know, that's my feeling as well. If you know Critical Role, you have an opinion.
Yeah.
And if your opinion is just, nah, it's all right. Are you going to be vocal about that to the point where people can identify you? Right. Probably not. I see Jeremy like lowering the volume because
No,
again, right?
no. I was trying to do the feedback. Yeah, no. I think that's true, and that is it is kind of so the designers working on that game are dealing with that baggage. That they're not, people aren't just criticizing the game, looking at the system. They're saying, oh yeah, but this is connected. This is what they're going to play on this
Like
streaming
I said,
series.
I would not be able to give Daggerheart a fair review. I don't think, or it'd be very difficult for me to give a fair review. Because
But after playing it, I think there's things that I liked and things that are just like there's a lot missing here. There's like missing pieces. But so let's do this. Are we getting that feedback again? I'm just gonna go pull that cord just a sec before we start.
technical difficulties. We need like the.
I don't know what this is, but I'm getting it. Yeah, just hear a hum.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't hear anything on the outside here.
Okay.
Hide the Hard Wars. I downloaded the Quick Start.
Oh, yeah. Hard Wars. All right. Okay, so let's get started for this week. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Chris and Jeremy hired. We'll get into that. I mean, I'm tired of the emails, calling us shills and sellouts. Galactic and Going Rogue, which is something Matt may have been looking for, but I'm not sure. We'll see.
Okay.
Defying the Gods. And is it Defying God? I think Defying the Gods. That's right. It's a pantheon. Defying the Gods, and White Wolf is back.
I'm curious about all these titles. Okay.
Yeah, good. Yes, I piqued your interest. So yes, there's been a lot of talk about Chris and Jeremy being hired by Darrington Press, and we've gotten constant emails telling us we're sellouts. I can't believe it. So I want to just set the record straight and tell everyone we're not leaving the Weekly. We're going to keep doing the podcast, and it is some other Chris and Jeremy, some minor figures in the hobby.
Why did I not see that coming?
A couple of nobodies. I don't know what they've done that have been hired by Darrington Press.
You're talking about us with those nobodies, right?
Oh, right. Oh, that's right. No, wait. I got that backwards.
Yeah, you got to flip it around. Yeah.
All right. Yes. So the perpetrators of D&D 5e have been hired by Critical Role's Darrington Press. So yeah, Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford. So we talked about one of them retiring. Then we talked about the other one retiring, and now we're talking
did they
about
actually say retire, or did okay.
Yeah, they're leaving. Yeah, they
retiring as in leaving from WotC, or retiring?
I think
from the
retiring
hobby?
from the hobby. Yeah, because they talk about that in some of this interview. Is like they were making retirement plans, and then they got an offer that they couldn't refuse, and they could work together again. So yeah, Critical Role's team now includes Marisha Ray, Ashley Johnson, Chris Perkins, Liam O'Brien, Jeremy Crawford, Travis Willingham, Matt Mercer, Telesin Jaffe, and Laura Bailey. Look at all that.
Still can't believe I didn't put together that it was that Chris and Jeremy. Okay. Anyway, yep.
Yeah, so the expansion of Critical Role, and it looks like they're going all in. Yeah, so the plans, there are plans. I mean, they've already done the Amazon streaming series. There's already an animated series, and they're doing,
Weren't there
Madison
already
Square
comic books?
Garden.
Yeah.
Comics. Yeah. So cartoons, comics, video games, and now of course tabletop games. And I think this news had a lot of people confused. And the first question they asked is, "Oh my God, what's this going to do to Daggerheart?" And Daggerheart's finished. It's released. They're not going to remake Daggerheart in the image of Perkins and Crawford, but they are going to do other games. And it seems like that's their game plan, is just to release more games, do something, passion projects, things they've always wanted to do interesting things to either fill holes or replace things that they see as out of date or need changes.
Okay.
So some quotes from interviews. So Perkins was saying, so I was committed to staying with Wizards until after D&D's 50th anniversary, which gave me lots of time to work on succession plans and exit strategies. What brought me out of retirement was the chance to work with Jeremy and the brilliant folks at Critical Role on things that have a lasting positive impact on the world. Chris and I talked about retirement plans for years. So approaching the departure approaching departure was long on my mind. I love the game and its team, but 18 years is a long time. I was ready for a new adventure. This chapter that we've now opened feels like I'm coming home, resuming work with Chris and returning to Southern California. Oh, that's why. Yeah, that's right. That's why Darrington Press and Critical Role suck, because they're in LA.
As a former member of LA, you're allowed to say that.
That's why they suck, and that's why it's all voice actors too.
Yeah.
So Willingham, Travis Willingham, the CEO and co-founder of Critical Role. So these are the two biggest names that we're certainly aware of and that have influenced TTRPGs and the games that we have played. When we first caught wind that they were thinking about taking time off from where they were at WotC, we said, "Hey, listen, we're over here making cool nerdy things." Okay, whatever.
I can't.
I can't. The tone. Yeah, I guess it's better than corporate speak, but it's a little too. Dude.
I don't know.
But anyhow, mutual respect and longtime friendship brought them back together.
All right. Okay.
So, and Crawford said, Chris and I had the pleasure of working together, befriending members of Critical Role over the last 10 years, because I think they've done like guest stuff. I think they've worked with them. So now they're, when we were approached to joining them, we happily said yes.
Right, okay. Given that Critical Role used D&D 5e for however long as they did, given as popular as Critical Role became, yes, I am sure over that 10 years, whatever, they had some kind of interaction with Perkins and Crawford.
Right.
Not a surprise. Right?
Yeah. And I think some other things that I've read is they're like, oh, now, and they even kind of said that, like coming home, like they're throwing off the corporate shackles and now they're really going to, this is going to be the golden age of their, game design and everything. No, they have been, almost 2 decades under this corporate. They are corporate tools now. They are not going to be able. And
you said tool, not me.
And Darrington Press is that. I think that's what they're moving towards. They want to be bigger. I mean, the bigger they grow, the more corporate they're going to be. The better these guys are going to fit in. And the way that if they're asking them for help about structuring this and business practices and stuff, it's going to turn into a mini WotC. Like they,
Wasn't it already? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm shouting again. Like someone on Blue Sky said, like when this news came out, it was like, wow, right? We've basically the result was everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, Daggerheart," and it's like you're just tossing off like one monopoly for another. Potentially. I mean, okay, it's not a monopoly. I don't think Daggerheart will ever like.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that can kill WotC is WotC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
right?
they're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job, but they ain't dead yet, right? But like, it's not like I don't know. What you said is probably true. This all sounds like necessary corporate speak. Designed to sound a bit more folksy and kind of we're those scrappy indie people, right? That you want. I don't know.
Yeah, these wouldn't be the guys I would hire if I was putting together anything I thought of independent from the mainstream. I mean, they want to be the new mainstream.
Yes, that's exactly right. Critical Role wants Daggerheart to be the new mainstream. Why not snap up these two people?
Right.
And I think, I don't know, I haven't looked at any kind of fan licensing agreement. From what I've seen online, the like SRD or the agreement to make Daggerheart content is not an open license.
Right.
They're not.
It's
corporate, right? again, so yes, this is just going to be another corporate fantasy role-playing game, right?
Right. And they really haven't impressed. Both Daggerheart and Candela Obscura are not
Candela Obscura.
Setting the world
Obscura
on fire.
is damn right, because
Yeah,
I think
right.
everyone forgot about that.
That was
thing.
correctly named. Candela, I forgot about that. Yeah, so
Well, like people talked about in the chat, right? Like apart from there must have been at least one. How many episodes did Critical Role do of Candela Obscura?
oh yeah. I think there was just
You can probably count it on one hand, right?
Right. Yeah,
But like they said, and other people have brought this up, and I said this last week, switching over to Daggerheart for whatever next season of Critical Role, I think it's kind of necessary. Because if they don't do it, what does that say about how they feel about the game they made?
Right.
And if they do it, right, then...
And I wonder if the characters that they built in 5e will port over, because there's a lot of weird stuff in Daggerheart.
I'm under the impression that each season is a new
Thing,
new characters, whatever.
Okay, yeah. So I wonder, and I've also seen that Critical Role is trying to change up the cast. Like they're not doing the standard, like the popular original group. They're doing a lot of different one shots and campaigns with different faces. So they're trying to create some popularity. But I think walking away from all that fan art and the people that are obsessed with the characters are created and the voices and stuff is a huge mistake. And people are it was probably already cooling off. People are probably already outgrowing it. And then now to start to try to promote new people. And I don't know if it's going to work.
Or alternative, what they do is like, hey, new system, same old favorite faces. These people are coming on. We're doing a prequel of these characters. Right. I don't know.
Yes, but on top of that, so all this timing is weird and suspicious because right after we got the announcement of Crawford and Perkins leaving WotC, and she hasn't even become our whipping girl yet. We haven't even done a bumper for her, but the VP of Kyle's replacement, Jess Lanzillo, is no longer at WotC. So she departed. And I think she stepped down, like she chose this, and she'd been there for a while. She worked, started out with Magic and had worked her way up like 7 or 8 years. So she'd been there for a while. But her vice president of franchise and product for D&D left, and then we also are hearing the Command is doing the former Command people are moving over to Asmodee, and we had the Mike Merrill's moving over to Asmodee.
Not touching any of that.
So we got a lot of weird stuff going on. And the other thing that, and there was a statement by Spencer Stark, co-founder, Darrington Press, about what this means. So on social media, he said, hey, not to worry, I'm still the lead designer on Daggerheart. I'm not going anywhere. Jeremy and Chris are here to help continue to build out Darrington Press, Daggerheart, and otherwise, but the vision, the approach, and the game style is not going to change. Yeah, so he was trying to alleviate, because people immediately said, oh, they're taking over control of Daggerheart, because that's the only fantasy game. They're going to do other fantasy games, I'm sure. But at the same time, Ivan Van Norman is leaving Darrington Press. So as soon as Perkins... And so Jeremy and Chris show up, and he leaves. So he'd been there for about 4 years, veteran game director. And of course, everybody is making these announcements on their LinkedIn. So they're if you've got an active LinkedIn, we know all about you. So that was another weird, suspicious thing. And then there was a firing. So there's been Hasbro layoffs. None of that has affected WotC, but there's been like a 3% labor force reduction in Hasbro itself. But they also may be doing that because they're moving headquarters. They're moving from Rhode Island to Boston. And Todd Kenreck, the senior content marketing strategist, was let go. So he didn't step down. He was just let go. And this is the guy, you probably recognize him from any interviews that WotC had released. He's the host. Like he's the interviewer when they're talking, when they were doing the previews and releases of the revised 5e and stuff. And he had a career as kind of a content creator and journalist. I don't know journalist, but he was involved in tabletop long before that. So he may go back to just independent content creation, and hopefully that will serve him well. But it was it's been kind of weird. There's a lot of reshuffling going on, and we don't know if it's like these things are affecting each other, or there's just not enough room.
Speculation.
Yeah, there's not enough room for
my speculation is that, and maybe I said this last week, is that Hasbro is pulling a Games Workshop where they don't want any recognizable faces or personalities in their company.
Yeah,
They want to open it a book. Everything's written by WotC staff, so that if and when people do jump ship, they don't take that following with them. And I would pay money, not a lot because I'm poor, but I would pay money to know whether like Perkins and Crawford were subtly pushed out because they were personalities within the market, right?
Yeah,
and I'm not saying they are or were or were not, but I would really like to know.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm sure that they see that as an advantage, just to having a bunch of anonymous nobodies. Just like they said, they're not going to replace them. There's going to be a group of people,
Freelancers,
covering the work that they're doing. Oh, and the interesting thing about the marketing guy, Kenreck, leaving is his wife is going to stay on at WotC as a production artist. So she's an artist for WotC. It's like, God damn. So they fired him, but they kept her.
I can't
and
imagine working at the same company as my wife.
Another,
right? Maybe if we were completely different departments, but I mean,
right.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So yeah, the sigil team is gone.
Yep.
They've really cleaned house. So we'll see what's next. I mean, are they really going to hang on to 5e for another 10 years and just like we've stripped out the names? This is the game. This is the new D&D. Just play it. But and when we
Until
saw
Nike sues them, right?
and we talked about the job ads, the help wanted ads, from last week. So so it's really weird. I mean, 5th edition has been the most successful that D&D has been, and like probably the furthest it's permeated into like normie pop culture. And the most successful D&D themed Baldur's Gate 3 was definitely the most successful game that has been Dungeons and Dragons themed, and they even made a movie, and I think that's all over. I don't know what they're going to do, but there was a great. So Derek Garcia did a review of the revised rule system, and the line from his review was great. A loose rule system that unintentionally offloads game design onto the DM.
No, it says intentionally.
Intentionally.
Offloads game design onto the DM.
Intentionally, yeah. So intentionally, so do all the heavy lifting. We don't really, cover it.
Hasn't D&D kind of been that for a while?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Like,
and ever since they kind of crowdsourced the creation of 5e. So the world's greatest. So I started talking about this, right? And we didn't even get a chance to play the bumper that I accidentally played. So all of this and all of the shuffling and everything has been not the best.
Not the best.
I actually want to play whatever game that is.
Yes,
I would
that
try
looks
it, right?
fun. That looks fun. Yes. So the fate of the world's greatest role-playing game. What will it be?
Continue to limp on.
Yeah, right. They're just gonna try to fit in some microtransactions. So anyhow, let's take a look at a couple of things that are on crowdfunding. So this kind of jumped out, and we've been talking a bit about this. Like, how would you play Andor?
Okay.
How would you? What system would you use? How would you play Andor? That would be a real satisfying no Jedi version of Star Wars. So Galactic.
Why even arguing? It's D5e.
Yeah, right. So Galactic and going rogue might be the answer. The thing that I really liked in the promotion, in the little video that promoted this crowdfunding, is they used audio from their actual play.
Oh,
so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they just edited in like actual sessions and what people did in this game, and that really told you like the tone, and it was perfect. It was a really brilliant idea. Instead of hiring a professional voiceover person and saying it was a dark time, it was just like a bunch of people randomly having fun with the game.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do with games?
No. So if you want to play as the legally distinct rebellion called the Liberation, or the legally distinct empire called the Mandate, you will you'll promise your other players that one day the stars might shine free of its fascist rule. So you pick up a blaster and you say, "Enough is enough." So this is
You're
actually
playing as the Mandate, right?
That sounds like it. You're playing as a Liberation, this is a 3rd edition, so I was surprised it's been around.
I've seen this before on itch.io.
Yes. And now this is going to be both of those games combined in a single volume. So they'll do a fully illustrated, full color, 5.5 by 8.5 hardcover,
Nice.
all new art and layout. So basically, Rogue One and Andor inspired. Going Rogue is so Galactic is their kind of Star Wars, and then the Going Rogue is the Andor kind of variant of that. So whoever you are, the Liberation has a place for you, and so do we. So there's beating heart at the center of the galaxy. You are the brave who hear it. As members of the Liberation, you have dedicated your lives to war against the Mandate. On the dream that one day the stars might shine free of its fascist rule, your rebels, soldiers, spies, and criminals, and perhaps someone who simply picked up a blaster and said enough is enough. Whoever you are, the liberation has a place for you. A no GM required system.
Okay.
And it's also, so it's 2 to 6 players, and they use the pillars from the Galactic system will power the going rogue. The legally distinct force in this game is called the space between, the mystical energy that binds the galaxy together, and there's also the scum and villainy aspect of it. So lots of betrayal and.
I was expecting the legally distinct force to be called something like power.
right. Anyway. Yes. So Going Rogue, cynicism, hope, and making the ultimate sacrifice. So Going Rogue was a winner of the Crit Awards for the 2023 Best GM-less Game of the Year.
Okay.
And there's 11 playbooks across 2 games. So playbooks means PBTA.
Not necessarily.
Is it variant? Yeah,
Not necessarily.
Yeah. It is?
No, I can't speak on the system because I don't know what it is. I'm just saying playbook doesn't necessarily mean powered by the apocalypse. It means you probably have some kind of
like template. Like the was saying no, but I think it is PBTA.
So
I was excited. I was excited by it, and I thought, hey, I'll show this to Matt. But then it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It doesn't. It says GM list.
GM list. Yeah.
It might still work with someone playing.
You can guide. Yeah, you can probably guide it. Yeah, that's true. So it looks very interesting. You could import characters if you've been playing Galactic. You can import them into Going Rogue. So yes, you will. Oh, and for this Kickstarter, they're producing things like metal tokens, a deck of cards, 6-sided dice. Yeah, so 2 6-sided dice. That sounds very PBTA.
Nope, keep reading. I saw something down there that clarifies it.
The 10 playmats. Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, he says. Oh, that's right. That's right. The belonging outside belonging system. That's right. So Avery Elder's belonging outside belonging is what it is.
Which means you're going to be using tokens.
I see.
Right? I've read it. I haven't played it. Belonging outside belonging. Yes, you do have kind of a powered by the apocalypse style playbook where there are things specific to your character, and it's acquiring and spending tokens. Basically, if I remember correctly, you acquire a token from like a central pool when you do something fairly minor, but in keeping with your character. And it's different for every playbook. Then you spend a token to do something much more, I don't want to say impactful, but kind of more risky, right? So the central kind of play thing is, okay, I'm going to do all these things that act like my character that maybe don't really benefit me all that much, but are keeping in kind of the narrative. Then I'm going to spend these tokens to actually kind of like overcome risk or do things that sort of have a much bigger impact on the story. Like that's the central kind of play thing.
Oh, sorry. And Avery Elder was a co-designer. So Benjamin Rosenbaum was also. So this is for their game Dream Askew, Dream Apart. And also I guess it powers Wanderhome as well. I don't know. Cool. Yeah. But yeah, so playbooks, a collection of unique aesthetics, relationships, and backstories and moves for your characters. You'll have character flaws, strong moves that highlight their strengths, and lateral moves. So and the game also includes the pillars. So pillars represent an important aspect of the game's setting. So in the all new Going Rogue and Galactic Innovation, pillars will have their own tokens. And I think basically that what they talk about with the Going Rogue is like Rogue One, you're sacrificing yourself. So you know the ending. You know your character is going to not at the end of the campaign or at the end of the session is going to be gone. But this is they're giving their life for this greater cause. So the playbooks in the game: the Ace, the Nova, the Defector, the Diplomat, the Scoundrel, the Mechanic. That covers kind of everything we saw. Within Andor, and then also the Spy, the Leveraged, the Knight Errant, the Convert, and the Loyal have been added. So you've got the all your liberation guys, and they also have a unique fate system. So pulling every game from Going Rogue towards its inevitable end. So that's what they're calling it. Yeah. So this inevitable end is your fate, your character's fate. So you're shepherding your character towards their tragic sacrifice.
I'm going to guess what pillars are in this one, because in Dream Askew, it's GM list or GM full, depending on how you want to define it, because in addition to your character, there are elements of the setting that kind of have their own moves, and everyone is in charge of one of them. right? Unless and until you spend a token, right? So it's kind of like this setting element, maybe like something like the mandate would do, or like some kind of like bounty hunter group will have their own moves, and then when you, the player, say, okay, I'm going to spend a token to like basically as a director have this thing happen about the mandate, like maybe it captures someone, right? Then you would pass control of that to someone else. So it's not, you don't play it the whole game.
Right.
So it's a very wishy-washy, hippy-dippy kind of storytelling game, right?
Right.
I mean,
Nice.
it's not for everybody, but yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, so I'll put a link to this campaign. I think they've got a couple more weeks still, and it looks like a heck of a lot of fun. It's gorgeous. Like it's very playful, colorful, nice. I mean, it's not especially going rogue it seems very dismal, and your character is sacrificing themselves. It's not as kind of dingy and dismal. It's a nice looking book, nice looking layout, and evocative of that kind of 70s sci-fi design. All right, and another thing on crowdfunding was Defy the Gods. So the queering of sword and sorcery. So they're kind of reimagining the setting, the genre of Conan.
You have my attention.
Have you heard? Yeah, you haven't heard. You
I haven't heard
this?
about this.
Oh, nice. Okay. So this was a canceled Kickstarter. So in May, they attempted to do this. It looked like their goal was a little high, and I think unfortunately, Kickstarter is such a system now, and it's like basically everybody has like grokked what it can do. So if you aren't at a certain percentage of your goal by a certain time, just get the hell out.
Okay.
Yeah, get the hell out, because you're not going to get it unless there's some huge whale or some angel that shows up and gives you $10,000. You're probably not going to hit your goal. So their goal was originally 47,000 back in May. They canceled it after hitting 19, only like a couple of weeks in, but they had 408 backers. But this sounds like it's worth getting the gang back together, the Monster Hearts gang back together for. So Defying the Gods is a tabletop role-playing game of daring adventure, passionate romance, and cursed power, set in a fantasy ancient Mesopotamia for 2 to 5 players plus a GM. So the inspirations are Clash of the Titans, Conan, Princess Mononoke.
The original Clash of the Titans, right?
I hope so.
Not that Sam Worthington nonsense.
I don't think anybody is inspired by that.
So the second one, Jesus.
It brings queer love and resistance to sword and sorcery roleplay, and with mechanics as well. So the world of blood and bronze, a pantheon of gods and demons, which you create. I think that's really interesting. So you create, then you also create the dream of lost Atlantis, plus its patient, hungry underworld. So, a fierce sword, a chaos-loving sorcerer, or a fugitive revenant, a cunning sailor, an immortal vassal, or a wild-raised wolfling are the types of characters you can play. So, win hearts and give your own. Your romantic entanglements leave you vulnerable, but in the end, the only thing that can save you from yourself. So, unseat the world's powers and dare to usurp their thrones. Leap into danger, surrender your heart, and ascend to monstrous godlike power.
You have my interest. Yep.
So, if your elder said about the game, Defying the Gods is a really smart, purposeful take on sword and sorcery role-playing, backed by mechanics that drive you towards interesting and loaded narratives. It's a really cool game. So each playbook, so it's another more like PBTA focused. Each playbook focuses on an archetype from sword and sorcery, but it also has residences with queer life. So the Revenant, the Sailor, the Sorcerer. Yeah, we already talked about the Vassal, the Wolfling. So you've got on your rolls, you've got a miss, a glowing success, or a burning success.
Okay, so this sounds like PBTA. I mean, not exclusively, but okay, yeah.
Right. So you gain. And also you're writing epithets. So you signify a wound you write epithets and you signify a wound by demoting them. So you gain epithets by giving your heart. Your immortal pride may earn you doom that overwrites your epithets, erasing your personality and granting you dramatic, story-shaking moves.
Okay, interesting.
And so you build your own antagonists from the start of the game. The gods, goddesses, and demons all have domains of love, war, abyss, hate, and searing knowledge. You create a city, the wilds, also define kind of the legacy of Atlantis and also what the underworld is.
Okay.
When even the gods conspire to oppress and control, the only act that is just is defiance. Defying the gods puts power and responsibility in the hands of your adventurers to fight the gods themselves or succumb to your own doom. And so there's an interesting mechanic where you give heart. I thought I highlighted that mechanic. So you give, by doing things for others, you give heart from yourself, and only by giving that back to you can you rewrite your character's personality, kind of reclaim what your character was,
Okay.
and not fall to doom. So you've got this interesting.
So if you're playing with a
element.
selfish jerk at the table, you're just like,
Yes.
I'm done. I'm out.
Yes, a loveless jerk is going to really upset this whole thing. But yeah, the mechanics sound really interesting because all the characters are being pulled towards just kind of unraveling and not being their true selves. There's a lot about identity and there's a lot about relationships. And the there's a really great line from the did I catch that? No, from the Kickstarter page that was talking about in this game a kiss or a sword are both as lethal, so yeah,
okay.
yeah. so really or both as powerful, I think is what it was. It was better written, but it was a really interesting dynamic that I think they made a mistake by trying to fund it in May because Pride Month would have been the perfect month and so they lowered the goal to 20,000.
Okay.
So I think they'll be successful. Gorgeous art. They really lean into it having a unique style. It doesn't read. It reads as Mesopotamia. It reads as Bronze Age. Cool. Really, really nice evocative art. Some of it more, magical and gritty, and then some of it a little more playful and nice. But it looks very interesting. I think it would be a fun thing to try.
I'm gonna have to go look at this.
So it's definitely coming for the Thirsty Sword Lesbians throne of the default queer game. It looks
Believe it or
pretty.
not, I still haven't even cracked the shrink wrap on those books.
And it's June.
I know.
Yes. So your emotional connections offer protection from the hostile world, but they also leave you vulnerable. Spending heart to aid others rolls and tempt them to do what you want. So you undermine the hostile forces arrayed against you by winning its followers to your side. In Defy the Gods, a kiss cuts deeper than a blade.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of the social aspect, and unlike most PBTA games, you can roll too high. When you do this, your fire stat often blazes high. Yeah, so that burning success is like, that's a little too successful.
A little too successful, right? Okay, that's I can see that being interesting, and my immediate thought was yes, kind of a Greek style or possibly Norse style pantheon where the gods supposedly take notice of mortals, right? Just think about wow, that guy is getting real too good. That's not correcting this. Real good. Like time is just right? So I don't know how it works, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, and there's a quick start on itch.io for it if you want to take a look at the how it plays in the system itself. But it was really refreshing, and I was. When I did the search for it and saw canceled, oh no. So this was on Rascal News, and I just searched for it, and I first came across the canceled Kickstarter. But they're back, and with maybe a better strategy, and just it's the timing too. I mean, it's just they may have been up against something or just not
maybe
noticed.
this word of mouth will help.
Yeah. But looks really fun. I like I like how they.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is. Back this. Make plans to get the gang back together
Yes.
when it arrives.
Yes,
Okay.
Let's do that. We'll get a big old Zoom call going. All right, and lastly, White Wolf is back. So there was an interview again on Rascal with Jason Carl about the new White Wolf and getting it right this time. Trying to avoid some of the really weird stuff that they got into. So, yes, the new White Wolf, it's kind of just a renaming. They will be the official licensing and publishing entity for World of Darkness, and this is in cooperation with Paradox Interactive. So they're going to co-publish the video game, the Bloodlines 2 video game, as well as the tabletop development. So that's all going to move in-house. So rebranding themselves to White Wolf instead of World of Darkness, the official licensing they'll control everything. I guess they're trying to put it all under one brand again. So a new era for White Wolf. So what happened? Why do we have to reestablish? Well, 7 years ago, White Wolf ignominiously shuttered as a brand. So it was The writers folded ongoing human rights violations into the game's narrative.
Yeah, I remember that.
And as Charlie Hall from Polygon wrote, leadership changes are underway after the studio used imprisonment, torture, and murder of the certain vampire clan's LGBTQ community as the backdrop for a major plot point in that game. So the licensing went through Onyx Path Publishing and Renegade Games until now. So they're bringing it back, and there's an interview. It's behind the paywall for with Jason Carl talking about their approach. But he's the brand marketing manager for the new White Wolf. So if you love that 90s,
so I wonder.
stuff,
Okay, I have lost track of who owns kind of what chunk of White Wolf / Onyx Path /
right?
Paradox, and I've lost who.
So yeah,
does this mean? I wonder are they taking stuff back from Onyx Path?
I mean,
it didn't seem to say anywhere in the
article.
article.
No, it said what this includes for the tabletop is Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and Hunter the Reckoning. So possibly not, like whatever Onyx Path, if they're doing the other, like the Changeling and the other.
They got Changeling. I think I forget who has Scion.
So they only mention those primarily, and the one that's in active development for the video game, for the sequel. So the wolf is back, baby. So yeah, he said,
okay.
So they're incredibly excited and proud to be back as White Wolf as an independent business entity, taking the legendary World of Darkness IP portfolio into the future. Just be careful, guys. Let's not get crazy.
Like they all said, like 50% less edgelord, right? I'm not like try and tone it down. That's what got you in trouble 7 years ago.
I want to see that on the front of the books. Now with 50%
less edgelord.
New and improved. Yes. All Lord, no edge. All right. Yeah, so this rebirth, they said this rebirth is a huge win for our fans because it empowers us to create the products, experiences, and world they want to explore. if they were in the 90s and they were,
Yeah, really. You're a bit faster on the uptake on that than me. I'm starting to think of something too.
Yes. So originally founded in 91, White Wolf's Mark Ren Hagen, Stuart Wyke, and Steve Wyke were extremely successful with their edgelord Universal Monsters games, and they sold to the Icelandic developer CCP in 2006, then taken over by the Stockholm-based Paradox Interactive in 2015. Okay. And Steve Wyke went on to co-found DriveThru RPG. I didn't know that. Yeah. So and now was there with their merger of Roll20. Yes. So they're back, and so we'll see if they can keep things on brand and
on brand is being enabled, right? Like, come on.
The new, not the old brand, the new brand. Yeah. So I was surprised to see it. So this announcement came at the end of last month, but I didn't see until this interview came out. It didn't seem like there was people saying much about it. So if you want to read, head over to Rascal News if you want to read the full details of kind of what they're planning. If you want to get back into it. All right.
I'm trying to think real hard of what to do with all edge, no lord. No, all lord, no edge, right? Yeah, something's got to happen with that.
Yes. All right. So that'll do it for this week.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
Blue Sky and Instagram. That's HiveMind, HYVEMYND, where I'm not really doing anything all that interesting currently. Right, apart from arguing that. No. If you're interested, it's on.
Head on
Sky,
over.
Right? Yeah, head on over to Blue Sky, right?
All right. Yeah. Nice. And I still have yet to do a live stream for the cartoon. Yeah, it was supposed to be this week, but there's a lot of driving involved. So Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch will happen next week, and I'll do a live stream and draw my single panel gag cartoon, Domestic Abuse. You can read that, the archive of it, 20 years of it on GoComics. GoComics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
You can do that at patreon.com/upturntable. You can also join on the become a member on the YouTube, and you'll get the same benefits except for the RSS feed. Google hasn't figured that out, although they have threatened now that they're going to use that new AI, Google AI, in YouTube. So YouTube Shorts are going to be all AI coming late this summer. Anyhow, sorry for the bad news, but upturntable.com. I just released a lore video to kind of prep you for our Dragonbane campaign that's coming up. So it gives you the setting of the Misty Vale, why it's named the Misty Vale, and
That's a lot of mist.
yeah, it is. And so about this time tomorrow, we will be playing Dragonbane again.
Oh, nice.
We're going to stick with the pre-gen characters from that quick start because the players really inhabited them. Like they became, connected to them and they worked really well. So it's like, let's not start from zero. Let's just keep going because we already played the first adventure site in this campaign. So we'll continue from there. So it's going to kind of be a seamless narrative from the first few sessions we've played. So take a look at that on the channel, and that's both Twitch and YouTube for Upturned Table, and all social media. So thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. doing? Yeah, it's a sweaty, sweaty day here in Japan. So yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. A bunch of shenanigans. I didn't think I was going to get through all of that shifting around. There were so many updates, like so many little news articles popping up about, you know, WotC and Darrington Press, and then even the Asmodee, who was going over there. But oh well, Matt was saying, yeah, the campaign for Raven's Purge for Forbidden Lands has that similar style. Yeah, and I was thinking more specifically of Vaesen. So Vaesen, I guess, and because it's mysteries, they're not really connected. Like you have to, there's not connections between things. I mean, you may be dragging NPCs, between them, but the mysteries are very distinct, very, monster of the week. So that was in my head when I was like, wow, this is cool. It's all connected. And I think fantasy campaigns should be more like that. Have an overarching quest or a baddie or something that you're going after. Nice. Miguel says the algorithm is shadow banning Upturned Table. Of course they are, because we're not doing enough Daggerheart. Nice. Oh yeah, and like Miguel is saying, yeah, it looks like Rat's leaving a sinking ship. Yeah, that was really funny. The VP is just like, oh, I'm out of here. And her post on, I can't even imagine reading some of those LinkedIn posts. Her post, which I didn't get into it. I already read so much like dude stuff that, but she was like, oh, take that. This is what a liberal arts degree can get you. Haha. And it was all victory. So I wonder where she's going. She's probably going to end up at, I'm sure she called Kyle, and she's going to show up at Ravensburger, whatever they're called. She's probably going to end up with Kyle as an overpaid, because once you hit that VP, once you get that job title, then you just keep on stepping up, but you usually jump companies to do that. So yeah, we'll see. Yes, so I don't know what that's going to mean. I really don't think, just like the Mass Effect guy that WotC is using to make Exodus, I think the guy is kind of out of, he's been in that corporate environment for too long, kind of cowed and broken, and there's not this fire and passion to make something interesting and original. He's just still speaking corporate, marketable crap. And I think that's what Chris and Jeremy are going to end up doing, is still be so affected by their years at WotC that they're not going to be able to, the fire's gone out of them. They've been, bent to this like corporate will, which may be exactly what Darrington Press wants. Like, tell us how to be, how to be corporate and safe. And yeah, we'll see. But it'll be funny to watch if they do increase in popularity and keep and release successful games. It'll be funny to see WotC and Darrington Press kind of out inclusion each other. No, we are the most inclusive and open. No. We are. But it rings so false with WotC, and I guess so. Darrington Press is still, they haven't gone public, so that's probably their, once they've grown enough, that's going to be their step. We're going to get a Darrington Press IPO, because that's all people in LA think about anyhow, is IPOs. That would be bizarre. I don't know if they are. I don't think they've gotten to that point yet, but they will. So how's everybody doing? Yes. Yeah, no good word for. Yeah, that's really funny though. The Daggerheart. I think just because there's not much content out yet. We probably are being found very easily from Daggerheart searches. There's just not many people. I saw somebody, I think it was a British actual play group, doing that same adventure that we did, and they gave the wrong players. Like, I think the wrong players claimed the wrong characters. It was really weird and unpleasant to listen to. So yeah, it's funny. But yeah, I wonder if... Oh, interesting. Yeah, Matt's saying you constantly break immersion without a GM. Oh, that's a good point. Yes, they do. They probably will have a move or a feature called I Have Friends Everywhere. Yeah, that looks like they're heavily leaning into the Rogue One Andor stuff. White Wolfig's back. Yeah. And Paradox, yeah, braces for the DLC. Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's been the heartbreak Matt's been going through. the I guess it's, I don't know if it's the alpha, but the the early advanced version of the Rebellion Unplugged Tunnels and Trolls came out, and yeah, it's just, I don't even know why they used the name. They didn't really even have to use the name because it's a very different game. Yeah, there's not much there, and it was sad too, because even there's a couple of people in the Facebook group that had read it, and they said, yeah, I can't get excited about this. You know, I'm more excited about the revised version of Monsters that, you know, came out from Ken and Steven. So yeah, that's really too bad. Yes, Matt's Mallard Knight takes no quacks. It'll be great to get back to Dragonbane. Yeah, just reading through the rules again, especially after Daggerheart. Reading Dragonbane again was such a breath of fresh air. It's like, there you go. There's a system that works. There's something that's fun and also, you know, has a nice, you know, there's you know, demonic cultists and, you know, orc tribes and stuff. It's all, yeah, it's going to be fun as hell to play Ravensburg. That's right. I don't know what I was saying. Yes. Yes. I bet that's where Jess is going. Kyle sent her an email. Hey, they've got a position right under me at Ravensburger. Matt said, I watched a No Rolls Bard episode where they played a Clue Werewolf mashup. That was amazing. Wow. Fun. Yeah, it really it doesn't have, and it's funny because they, you know, made the point in their little press release of saying, okay, these indie guys that we hired, they're totally into Tunnels and Trolls. I'm sure they, you know, played it when they were 7 or whatever, you know, especially the age of them, I'm sure it was. You know, they have some history with the game. I guess one of them had written, like, in more recent years, had written some, I don't know if it was solo adventures, had written some content for Tunnels and Trolls. But the system itself, yeah, it just feels like a weird toothless update with none of the fun. That way, and I was really, like, that seems so obvious, even if you kind of don't get the system working right or whatever. But there's just certain things like, oh, go away as a spell does not exist. I mean, maybe it will, but there's not anything that's really going to support that very well with what they did. And it was weird too, because they and I think Matt even said that it had the weird toothlessness of Daggerheart, the how the kin is so inconsequential, and they showed in their and the pre-gen kind of stuff that was presented there, and the art was really terrible too. That was the thing that was so heartbreaking, is where did they get this garbage art from? And hopefully it's just like temp art or something, but they did it one decent illustration for the cover, but it's kind of monochromatic and, you know, not very evocative of much of anything. But it's a decent piece of illustration, and then everything inside was garbage. It looked like, you know, it was bad. Just a little too amateur for the company that owns or, you know, licenses 2000 AD. It's like they don't have access to better artists. Because a lot of their games, a lot of their board games and stuff they release have great art. So that was another depressing thing. Is that what bad art is old school? Is that what they're... that's evocative? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we need a mounted rogue. A dark-winged duck. Nice. Suspiciously sounds... But is legally distinct from... Yeah, dark-winged duck. Nice. Yes. Oh, that's right. So I have 11... adventures, 11 adventure sites until I figure out how to kill Matt's character, just like in VSN. We're gunning for that duck. Yeah, and it's nice because we're putting together a key to unlock something, and so they can basically go anywhere they want in the Misty Vale. Things can be, based on who you talk to and whatever. You can take everything as you want, because you'll be able to just look at a map and say, hey, that looks interesting. Let's go see what that is. And the only thing, there is just one one site that is like the climax of the story, so you keep that back, but you can discover things in kind of a random order, which will affect your choices. I think there's some really nice dynamics there, because the characters may be inclined to align themselves with one faction or another, or stay very independent, or play them against each other based on how they uncover information in the campaign. Good stuff. That's right. Yes, Matt's kryptonite is a demon pig. I don't know. There are large pigs involved. Yes, I believe the orcs are associated with some large pigs, so got to be careful. Yes. So yeah, it'll be fun, and I really like the way that everyone's playing their pre-gen. That was great that we didn't have to kind of reset, so there'll be some continuity to. So if you watch the actual play from the Rittermond quick start, we're just going to pick up with those same characters and continue through the setting, and yeah, should be cool. And we're coming back from, so we'll like, I guess, directly connect it to coming back from the Sinking Tower one shot. So yeah, that was a fun a fun kind of crazy, exhausting. We should be playing it in 2 hours. I think it's like a real time. You're literally supposed to play it in real time, and the towers start sinking in literally 2 hours. But it was impossible to make that happen online. But they have a ship. Yeah, you guys, we're gonna start with your ship, and you're gonna make your way back to the Misty Vale. We'll see we'll see how that works. But and I think much more than Fallout or other games we're playing, I think jumping in and out of this one might not be bad, because you kind of have a home base that you can come back to, so characters can stay there, and we can pick up other characters. So I think this might be a thing that works out well weekly, even if we're missing a player, because we can just kind of fill in, and it's not going to change any of the world building. The player won't have a voice in maybe some of the decisions, but if they're back the next session or the next 2 sessions, they'll get caught up on what they've uncovered, and yeah, should be good. Yes, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, calling the release of the 50th anniversary clumsy is too kind. Yeah, that's sad. This is the 50th anniversary, and they're just not. So they said in that quick start alpha rules little thing that they released that they're going to Kickstarter. They're going to crowdfunding. So that means it's a year off. So we're a year away from seeing anything. And if this is what they've done, and they also kind of in that lame way that Sigil did, there's a little bit of a weird sign up for our, I forget what they're called, kind of their founders or their their little inside group, and influence the creation of the game and the world. It's like, so tell us how to make this game, because you should have figured that out by now, and not just wasted this purchase. But yeah, we'll see. Yes, so it was fun. It was fun to go back to doing lore videos. It had been a while. I wasn't sure if I could still do it. And all the great art, for Dragonbane, that was really nice to be able to use that. Everything looks so good. That's the hard stuff with the Mutant Chronicles, is it's so hit or miss. Like there's, if it's not the Paul Bonner stuff, there's a real kind of, hit or miss selection of art for Mutant Chronicles, but yeah, Dragonbane has a nice overarching look, and I could still use some of the CG fantasy video and some real video still like worked as just to kind of give scene and mood and effect. So that was fun. I gotta do more of that. That's a really fun thing to do, and I think it's useful. And I tried to in the description explain. You may want your players, like if you're going to play this Secret of the Dragon Emperor campaign that's in the core box, you may want your players to find out all the information in game, but this is kind of what everyone is going to start with. Like everyone will start explaining this story to you, and I kept it broad enough and like generic enough that you don't know details. Like that, there's just, and there was a hill where this happened, and there was an island where this happened, and it's not naming anything or pointing anything to specific to, what exists in the Misty Vale. So hopefully it'll be useful and at least set the tone and get the players excited for a campaign. So I'm always, when making those videos, I always want them to be a useful tool. That was the idea of the Mutant Chronicles stuff, but it was made for that RPG that Modifius did, and so it doesn't serve the the Warzone or even Doom Trooper card game community very well, because it's got a lot of like extra nonsense and kind of modifications to the lore built in. So we'll see. But yeah, it'll be fun to get back to something we actually have some passion about playing, and yeah, we'll have to make some time to do before it kind of slips out of our heads. Hopefully Dragonbane won't completely erase it, but we'll have to do some talk about Daggerheart, because I think that needs a kind of nice critical view of it after having played it and after having experience with tabletop new and old. I think that'll be a nice way for people to get a sense of what they actually did with this and what it's missing. There seems to be big holes, and maybe that's going to be the safe choices of more recent game design are just going to do that. They're going to create like weird holes in systems that are going to offload it all. Oh, so yeah, you just come up with this because we're not going to put in print anything that could be criticized on social media. Who knows? But yeah, good stuff. So looking forward to it. Hopefully the players are into it, and and we'll see like schedule wise how it works. But I think this campaign would work well. We're going to have, there's at least 3 pre-gens that are kind of drifting around that someone could pick up and run with if we add another player. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, very cool. So I'm not looking forward to going outside. I'll just stay inside with you guys. It's so miserable. And just suddenly, so it's supposed to be, so all of June is supposed to be kind of a torrential downpour, kind of a monsoon season in Japan. And then as the rains start to end, then the heat increases and it stays really humid. But just suddenly, we're already humid and in the 80s. I'm sorry. And in the 80s, so it's already getting like unbearable. Like the air is still and it's humid and just all this direct sun. So it feels very much like August already. Suddenly, so we're just gonna have a week of this, I think, and be tortured. So we will see. Yeah, but yeah, real heartbreaker looking at that. A literal heartbreaker looking at the that what they're trying to do with New Tunnels and Trolls. I just don't think they gave them any time, any guidance, whatever, or just said, yeah, I don't know. If you read Daggerheart, we'll do that. Just without the cards. So I don't know, but what would be cool is if they have the rights, because the Tunnels and Trolls Deluxe hardcover is out of print from like the 2015 Kickstarter, I think. So what would be cool with this crowdfunding is, yeah, they do their new version and whatever stupid stuff, but they do a reprint of the original so people can get the original, the furthest evolution of Tunnels and Trolls in their hands. That would be a thing that would be cool to see for crowdfunding. The only reason that I'd even pay attention to that crowdfunding, because them supporting this, if this is the skeleton that they're building on for this new version of Tunnels and Trolls, nobody cares, and it's not going to get a single. It's a shame because it's not going to get a single bit of attention, and it's just doing what I don't know. It's just doing what everybody else is doing, and that's not what Tunnels and Trolls was. It was so incredibly different from where the early days of tabletop roleplay was going, and so yeah, I think that should have been the take, and I think part of it. I think I brought this up with Matt. I think part of it is to blame that it's all a British production. And I think the perception and what Tunnels and Trolls was in England is a little bit different, because the solo books, when those were released, there had totally different art that was much darker, was much more grim, dark, and weird. And so that was the thinking, I think, of a lot of the British players or anybody that interacted with it, and it wasn't the kind of playfulness and the counter to what D&D had established. They just don't have that sense, and I don't know, maybe it's just hard. Bunch of ideas bolted together, kind of like Daggerheart. Yeah, Matt was saying, yeah. It was sad reading on the Discord. Matt talking about, I was like, because we were waiting for this. We were happy they're finally doing something, and they're just gonna waste time at Gen Con saying, yeah, here it is. It's Daggerheart, but not even well executed. That's the thing with that shit art that was in the. I'm getting more and more negative about it. But the that garbage art in that preview cannot stand. That cannot be. And hopefully the crowdfunding is going to pay for more illustration, because even the NPCs that they showed were just terrible. It was just everything was bad. The only thing good about it was that they gave you tables to randomly generate characters. But why would you even do that? Because the reason they include pre-gens is because in these like quick starts and things, they don't want to give you character creation rules, but they at least had tables for generating stuff, so you could make original characters. But why? Matt's saying you need core mechanics. You need a core mechanic. Subsystems should mimic or complement your core mechanic. Yeah. It's I think that's what was weirdly missing, and they turned it into a die pool with successes, so you're looking for successes instead of rolling bunches of dice, and I guess they didn't want to math people out, so you're just looking for, and I think it was even like a wider success range, like a 4 and up. I don't know, it was not great. Yes, Japanese summer is perfect for priming minis. There you go. Yeah, that is good. Arturo is being sent on an assassination mission and be disavowed if you fail. Oh, wow. You better not get me to try that Dune MMO, Arturo. That would be rough. Yeah. Yeah, so that was weird. That was a little headline that I saw that, was it Velo? The Google video AI Veo? Yeah, Velo AI. Is that what it is? Veo, VEO. Is that even right? Yeah, that's going to be, so YouTube Shorts now are going to be a nightmare, because they're going to be that realistically generated. So, all of those, people were already faking those shorts that looked like they were clips from podcasts where they really weren't. And people are like shilling their like weird products or whatever. So the whole shorts thing is just going to explode into just a nightmare. Maybe they see this as a way to compete, because they're trying to compete with TikTok and, short stuff on Instagram and whatever. But it's going to get weird. And already I've seen so many people saying that the revenue, they like YouTube is pushing, make shorts so hard, but they're not getting any advertisers to want to support that platform. So it's weird. They push you towards stuff that is a waste of your time just because that's their business strategy. Veo 3. Yeah, but if you've seen any samples of that, that's the new Satan, is because they can do, that on the street, like man on the street interview stuff. They can do interviews. They can do talking directly to the camera, and it's completely believable. It doesn't look waxy. I mean, the lip sync is a little funky, but if you're watching it on YouTube, sometimes the sync is all screwed up on YouTube anyhow. So you're just gonna have a bunch of weird propaganda stuff, or I don't know. It's gonna get weird, man. Oh, Churro has an in-game guild for Dune, and do a Discord poll for any Landsrad votes at the end of the week. That's crazy. Oh, that's so cool. God damn it. That's frustrating. I know. And I'm not. I can't get like fanatic enough. Even like back in the like WoW days and stuff, I was just really slow, and like Final Fantasy, what was that, 11, 10, whatever the first MMO was. I was so slow with leveling my character because I just couldn't get obsessed with doing it for long enough. So that's really cool though. I like that that's a thing. I like that that's because when they first announced that, because the timing with the pandemic and everything, and also them screwing Denis Villeneuve over, not letting him do the two movies at the same time, but forcing him to break them up. Dune kind of didn't get a very good release because Modiphius was doing the TTRPG and there wasn't a movie, and then they were reissuing the board game. Gale Force 7, whatever, was doing the Gale Force 9 was doing the re-release of the board game. So how this Dune stuff going on, and it all came out really weird and bad timing. And so when this MMO was announced, they still had some years of development time. I was like, well, that's going to arrive way too late. But no, Dune is still still going on. Wow. So have you read the comments on the new PDF rule set? Either their readers are making stuff up or they really like it and seem to all agree it approves of. Oh my gosh. Really? Wow. That's crazy. I've just been reading the Tunnels and Trolls guys, like the fans of the original and stuff, what they were saying. And everyone's just like, ugh. Wow. I can't. That would be so sad if this becomes the brand, if this like watered down, goofy thing becomes the brand. Yeah. Weird combo of modern and old ideas, and don't look anything like the old system. Yeah, they really should have tried to capture the spirit, but I don't think that was a major concern of theirs. But isn't that the IP? Like, isn't that the brand? Don't they want to continue? I don't know, the tradition. Yeah, and we'll see like how what they do with the magic system and stuff. If it stays more true to that, or if it's just that's really depressing. Wow. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So Arturo's saying, I have the board game re-release. It's pretty amazing. The mechanics of the game, tell the story of the book. And honestly, the MMO does the same thing. Arturo, stop it. Stop. No. I'm going to get myself into trouble. Wow. Oh, yeah. Warzone. Yeah, I thought they said things were going off. Yeah. Miguel said, I haven't gotten any notifications of stuff leaving, but their last update made it sound like I think rest of the world is last on their list, so everything is going out for North America and Europe. They had some fucked up. They fucked up Europe somehow. Res Nova's not doing great. It sounds like with getting everything everywhere, but it sounded like the end of last month or the end, that things were going to be on their way to rest of the world, but I haven't heard anything. Yes, so I've got 2 little books coming for the new Warzone, but the PDF for free with the stat lines and everything is already available for the system. So I'll have to get out some of my old metal and try the new system and see how. I think it's going to be like the new Tunnels and Trolls. It's just going to be like, this isn't quite, I don't know. We'll see. Not that bad. I guess that's a little too mean from what they were doing. Yes, I might say maybe they think the additive dice pools are too hard for modern players. I think you're right, Matt. Yeah, I think that's like, oh my God, you're going to have to do math that it may go up to 45. Who can even add that high? Yeah, that's too bad, because that was the weird fun of that system, is to watch the number go down. It's like the monster hits you, and the difference is it's like 67 to 42, like, oh shit, but then it starts to come down. I can't believe they totally abandoned that. I think they made the mistake of going with the indie. Even though I like his work, I think Chris Bissett may have not been the best choice. or just because the poor fella's so busy with other stuff. Yeah, and the fact that it's being developed in England. I think it's a very American fantasy RPG. All right. Well, yeah, that's too bad. We'll have to find something. I have to find something. Yeah, we'll still have to keep looking for how to do Andor, Matt. There might be some good ideas in going rogue and stuff, but I'm not sure if you'll enjoy that system so much. But we will see. All right. Yeah, so Dragonbane tomorrow. We'll do some Infinity over the weekend, and maybe Chris will stop by, and then the week after that, Frostgrave. So it should be good. Good to keep at it. And yeah, I'll hit you guys up, Abyss and Arturo. We'll hit you guys up to do a Discord call and just talk about our feelings. Have a group therapy session to recover from all that Daggerheart. But and thanks guys for playing that. That was just something that kind of came out of nowhere. I just decided I'll take a look at it, and okay, so $10 more, I get everything on Roll20 for it. Yeah, fine, whatever. But Will and I'll just talk about Daggerheart, and then we ended up playing it. Yeah, I don't know. I think for a first RPG that would be terrible. It's got all the pretty cards and stuff though, so it's probably going to be pretty tempting for new players. But like early D&D, like original D&D, it's going to be like, okay, how do we do this? Wait, where are we going? What's going on? No, you make it. You come up with the okay. Yes, Hasbro the RPG. Yeah, Scum and Villainy. Yeah, we should take a look. I've got that. I get that physical book and the PDF too. That we might want to give that a shot, just to see how that plays. And I think I don't know. We'll take a look and see. There's got to be something that'll give us what we want out of that, or just come up with our own templates, for West End Games and see if we can do. Yeah, I want to do something. I want to do a West End Games, at least a one shot at some time, the Star Wars system, or Ghostbusters, whichever. That would be fun to do, just like a random Ghostbusters. I don't know if any of the supporting adventures or materials were any good for it, but that would be a hoot as well. Continue our year of fun, year of just stupid fun. All right. Yeah, so we're playing the Grift of Grifting RPG. Influencer. It's okay to admit that you were inspired by Jason Momoa. I'm an influencer now. Yes, a Moo influencer. Nice. Oh, man. Yeah, so we'll see. This is saying, I like those Twitch streams who say they are communists who grifted it into Hollywood and made millions off of it. Yeah, right. That's the shtick now. You can trade that all in as soon as somebody discovers you. But yeah, so we should have some good stuff coming up. It'll be great just to get back to it. And yeah, so thanks everybody for hanging with me on on this weekly, on the ramble portion of our weekly podcast. And yeah, I don't know if I think I had Chris going for a while. The Chris and Jeremy thing had Chris going for a while, but I was trying to execute that a little bit better. It's just funny that that's their continuing on to another company as a pair, and that just happens to be their combination of names. All right. I will soon be rich. Yeah, if I'm going to force everybody to Daggerheart. I'm going to send the gorgeous little deluxe set to everybody, so they have all the little shiny things. It's like, oh, we've got to play this more. It's just so pretty, and it's going to make the channel supreme. See, and that's the thing is, I think some channels have fallen to that, and yeah, I think like the people that are just doing the, I hate WotC, kind of. Clickbait bullshit stuff, D&D is over, D&D made its final mistake, D&D is dying, doing that kind of crap just because that's the first video of theirs that ever got attention. So we are doing this because we love this hobby and we like connecting with people over it, and finding fun players and creative people, and pointing out stuff that maybe slips by, smaller companies and smaller creative stuff that may not be on your radar, unlike Daggerheart. Yeah, that's why we're doing this, and we got to do the Western thing. Nice. Yes, I can't. I can't wait to do a D6 Western, especially if Matt's putting it together. That'll be awesome. Yes. So if I'm wearing a very sparkly Daggerheart, right? It's singular. I don't know. T-shirt next time you see me online, I've been they've gotten to me. Yeah, and it's gonna be funny if by not doing anything, by being so afraid to evolve D&D, to not do a 6th edition but stay with this revised 5th edition, if they did the thing that they were trying not to have happen, which is to create another Paizo, like the 4th edition creating Pathfinder, and if this creates Darrington Press as a giving you options, like here's a very watered down story driven fantasy RPG Daggerheart, here's a grittier, more tactical, more simulationist one. It's like if they can create a couple of options that are going to undermine what WotC's able to do, because they've just got the one system, and as much as they say, oh, we can do anything, it can't, and it's not going to attract the same number of people. Yeah, it's very funny. Yikes. cringe and flowers. I think you will enjoy, if you suffered through Daggerheart, I think you'll enjoy Dragonbane. I think they really nailed it. It's a really really fun system, and just refreshing myself on the rules, I'm like, yes, great. It's good. It's got to push, you're able to push things, and all kinds of good stuff. And it's got a, advantage, disadvantage. It's all good. I just wish we could play some of this stuff in person too, one of these days. Arturos, you may call it something out, but I have a hard number that if I offered, I would buy in. Yeah. What's your price? Jason Momoa is for sale. Yes, is a creation of corporate culture, corporate pop culture. Anyhow. All right. Well, everybody take care. And we'll be back again next week. See you in a day, in about 24 hours, for some more Dragonbane. And we'll kind of pick up, we'll refresh kind of what the characters have been through with the first few sessions, and pick up in the campaign for in the Misty Vale. So we'll find out what the Dragon Emperor is all about. And I'll put a link to, and if Matt, if you want to throw that in the chat as well, a link to the little lore video to kind of get you prepared for the setting and kind of like where things stand. So instead of the blood mist of Forbidden Lands, there is a demonic mist over the veil, which we will be adventuring in. But yeah, lots of fun stuff. Yeah. So any frustrating negative feelings should all disappear as we enjoy some Dragonbane. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back again, or listening, and we'll be back again soon. So thank you so much for the patrons and members. This audio for the live stream appears on the RSS feed, and it's also available in On YouTube, just the podcast portion kind of trimmed down. So thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon. Oh, thanks, Matt, for posting the link. Check out that Dragonbane video to kind of get you set for the campaign, and we will, we'll be back again soon. Goodbye.
You're the